I have a confession to make first. Every time you hear R&D in the next today and the next day, it's I and my team who is guilty of that. I lead a team of amazing engineers who are also dreamers. And I think it's not only about 3E or iLab in general, but it's all over in 3E that we see that we have a whole company of amazing technologists who are also dreamers. And over the years, we have somehow learned how to keep that active balance between being a dreamer and still being commercially relevant. And today, my presentation is about chasing that dream. And throughout this presentation, it will be filled with symmetries and asymmetries. It will be filled with knowledge and ignorance, and also something that we know and something that we want to know. Therefore, please stay with me whenever I will be going through that presentation. First things first, we all know that climate change is happening. I hope there is no climate change denier here. It's bad for business as well. We know temperature is increasing, rainfall will be decreasing. We all know this story. But what is very important for all of you to know, because we love to make money, and why not make money while installing solar power plants? Remember that last year, European Central Bank declared that there was almost 12 billion euro of insurance claims over climate change problems. And by 2050, it's expected to become 100 billion, almost 800% increase. Therefore, the insurance claim is going to skyrocket in the coming decades. And of course, we're in renewable energy community, we are filled with dreamers. And all these innovators and dreamers come up with a solution. You have a problem, we have a solution. What is that solution? Agri-solar or agri-PV. Agri-solar basically means you have PV power plant and you put 5 goat and 3 sheep and a grazing land and call it agri-solar. However, agri-PV, what it means is that you actually design the agriculture, design the PV according to the ecosystem that you are building in. And of course, I lead a team of dreamers, therefore we chose the difficult path. Why does it make sense? It makes sense for 52 different reasons. I just put few of them there. It reduces your problems with heat waves. It improves your drought resistance of your agriculture. But most importantly, remember, it helps you to decarbonize your agriculture. Whenever we think about energy transition, we only think that, I will buy a Tesla and put 3 modules in my rooftop and I have done the energy transition. Actually, no. Our energy consumption, 25% comes from agricultural produce. And to decarbonize that, we definitely need to find a new way to go forward. And of course, in the last few years, agri-PV is becoming the new wild, wild west. Everyone is trying everything that is interesting and unique and different. And of course, I bring this example from the Western movies, and probably many of you have watched it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And a very interesting statement there is, when you have to shoot, shoot, don't talk. And all these scientists and innovators start shooting whenever they have problem without actually going through the discussion and going through that realization. And I can bring you an example in the last decade that you have seen. There are beautiful pictures. 10, 12 years back within European Union, we thought that BIPV is the next big thing and we should invest in it. And there were a lot of investment done in how to make beautiful PV, and some of them are really beautiful and painting like, how to make colorful ones, how to put it on the bridge, on the side, on the cycle paths. We tried to put it everywhere, but you still don't see it commercially available. Why? Because when scientists and innovators try to push that innovation, or sometimes we optimize so much that we make a unique thing which is very useful for only one of that use case. However, again, I told there will be symmetries and asymmetries throughout that presentation. In agri-PV, We don't want to repeat that mistake that we have been doing within EU with BIPV. We want to make AgriPV commercially viable and successful for both of these industries. And my claim is that, and a lot of community within EU as well, we have all of those pieces of puzzles already that we know. We don't really have to reinvent the wheel. Agriculture, we have been doing this approximately 10,000 years. We should be good at it by now, I hope. We have a mature solar technology. We have been experimenting with PV since 1962. We are, I think, good at it, and our price ratio shows that as well. We have access to advanced sensors everywhere. We can measure our heartbeats and how many steps we are walking. Definitely, we can measure everything that is inside a greenhouse or in the field as well. We know how to make a dual-use design. We know who are the energy off-takers. And last but not least, we know some of those advanced system monitoring. If you haven't known about an advanced system monitoring, maybe this is the right crowd to be in to know about that. In 3E, we focused on these two specific cases, advanced system monitoring of AgriPV, to know more about it, and how to have a dual-use design of an AgriPV integrated for an ecosystem. We have been connecting to many different AgriPV sites, 5 in 2 projects that we're running. But coming back again, remember the symmetry and asymmetry here. 2 of this project, the first European project on AgriPV is Symbiosis, is a Horizon project where we are focusing on, there is agriculture, there is already something, why not improve it beyond that? So creating something where there is already something. And the other project, creating something where there is nothing. I will quickly go through the snapshots of those pictures and of those demonstration sites that we are connected to. And my hope and my argument is that I don't want to educate you about AgriPV. I don't want to tell you everything that you need to know, because we don't know all of them yet. However, my argument is I want to, hopefully, intrigue your interest and potentially inspire. This is the first one. I will go from north to closer to the tropics, to the south. And just a useful hint, usually the closer you go to the tropics and the more deserty the condition is, usually your business case with AgriPV becomes better and better. So it's a greenhouse ecosystem in Netherlands. Kubo is managing that. It's one of the largest greenhouse installer and producer in the world. They thought, we have fascinating advanced greenhouse that we can make. Why not make it more interesting? So they participated in this project. And what I wanted to show is that they're actually experimenting with something which is very unique. Advanced sensor, advanced automation, and also glasses which diffuse sunlight. So in this picture, you see that on one side there is a stark shadow, on the other side there is diffuse shadow. And we are playing around this ecosystem to see what works best. This is a site in Barcelona, and when I zoom in, we don't have a picture yet, we are working on it. This is a demonstration site where it's an open AgriPV concept. The idea is that we will have automized, mechanized robot system to go around your open AgriPV system and potentially use them for the whole cultivation of an AgriPV. But for now, it's just an expensive lawnmower where the LiDAR is installed on top of this. I will not go over this video. Again, not to disclose everything that you need to know, but to intrigue that interest that next time you see me in the coffee session, come and ask me about this video. The last one from Europe, Bolzano in Italy. And Italian government is especially very much interested in AgriPV and not interested in AgriPV at the same time. They're interested on the business case, but they are also scared that what will happen to the farmers. And here in this project, actually, we're dealing with that. Because here we are cooperating with an agricultural institute in Bolzano. And this is the oldest running Agri-PV site in Europe. So this has been an Agri-PV setup from 2008 and continuously monitored. And they have seen in their continuous experiment in that apple orchard that their crop production does not go down. Some year it goes up, but they are scared to go into public, to give it as a public knowledge because they said that this is one experiment, maybe it was unique, we want to try it again. So they joined in our Symbiosis project to try that next unique thing. So here is an apple orchard picture, and hopefully by next year, we will have a new Agri-PV site there. Now on our second project, the first project, again, symmetry and asymmetry. The first project focuses on technology and energy. Second project focuses a lot more how to bring the social aspect of it, how to integrate the community with your Agri-PV system. And even there are asymmetries as well. So in Egypt, we are cooperating with some of the biggest IPPs in Egypt and also social movers. So there are two different sites which are completely different. One is a very small scoped community-driven Agri-PV. Another is a large-scale Agri-PV of 1 square kilometer. Let's go over this. And as I mentioned, that there is a strong social impact to that, means that how to integrate the community together to make sure that we can create something out of nothing. We can regreen the Sahara Desert and also do it in a very sustainable way. So these two projects, two pilot projects, Egyptian government really has a big plan on this. On one side, this large-scale industrialization of a desert agriculture, and on another side, how to connect these small Bedouin communities together, provide them a source of energy, provide them a source of business to do with Agri-PV. And when we think about Agri-PV, it might sound simple, but here you can see a flowchart of how different components come together into a social ecosystem of an Agri-PV. And of course, I'm an engineer. I love to draw plots and graphs and flowcharts. This is some of the basic components, how you can build a socially inclusive Agri-PV program. Hopefully, by April next year, we will have that up and running. Now, it's just an infographic. There is a community, Bedouin community living there, nomadic community. But by next April, the project would look very similar to what you are looking at. What we are doing in 3E, we are coming back to this dual-use design. We are helping that community or helping those companies trying to design how to put PV in a very systematic way that does not hinder into your agriculture, that actually improves. And this is just a satellite image of that site. The second site, where the industrial agriculture is happening, remember, as I told, that Egyptian government do have a big plan, and this square is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, and it will go beyond a scope of bigger than Brussels as well. I want you to conclude on two, again, key slides: symmetry and asymmetry. Remember, we don't want to invent the wheel again. We do have knowledge on all of those puzzles. Let's put together those puzzles. And why you should even care about that, putting that puzzle together, right? Remember, we love to make money. Why not make money installing solar? Because within EU, according to Solar Power Europe, there is a potential. If we install Agri-PV on 10% of utilized agricultural land within EU, we can potentially have an install capacity from minimum 3 to maximum 14 terawatt. Just to give an idea, right now, today, the installed solar capacity in Europe is just 260 gigawatt. The kind of business you're looking at is huge already in Europe. Imagine how it can transform globally as well. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Thank you for inspiring us with that amazing presentation. Questions for Gofran? If not, thank you so much.